space right now, so it kind of looks like I'm in a closet, but no worries. I'm so excited to be here and share some insights on how to create an in-person event. And I'm going to share with you 3 different ChatGPT prompts to help you create the formatting for your event and fill the seats at the event. And I thought this is an awesome transition from Colleen's chat, talking about follow up. I've actually been doing follow up all morning on our GPT NYC event we had last night. It was a sold out event in New York City, beautiful views, and it was a whole roundtable about how to monetize ChatGPT. And it's kind of meta because I use ChatGPT to fill the room with people who are interested in this subject. So I've actually been doing a follow up on everyone I met from that event all morning. It's been super awesome. So if you either host events or you're thinking about hosting events, this one's for you. And even if you're not interested in events at all, I'm still going to show you how to use ChatGPT to convert more people to whatever business that is that you do. So let's see if this works real quick. Just showing you if everyone could see the screen. This is from last night. This is the room we filled in Manhattan at GPT NYC. It was a super awesome event, and I love events. I love bringing people together, and I love, it all resonates with what Colleen was saying. These authentic connections you make at in-person events are really those connections that are going to help you propel your business and just get further along in life. So, just quick introduction of myself. Tanya kind of pretty much summed it up, but I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been in a lot of different industries, everything ranging from cannabis to blockchain to emerging tech, social media. But the common thread between all of that is that whatever I work on, I like to do events to create authentic connection and help people learn about new industries, because especially with things like artificial intelligence and ChatGPT or NFTs and blockchain, which I was heavily in last year, these things move so fast. And you can watch YouTube videos all day and really just try to learn as quickly as you can about the industry and how to make something happen. But I found that the best way to really position yourself is to go to these in-person events and really just kind of bring the community together. So that's kind of the position you get by leading events, is that even if you're not an expert, like I'm still pretty new to GPT, I've been learning a lot about it. But even if you're not an expert, you're positioned as a pioneer in this industry because you're the one bringing everyone together, and you get to learn in a live forum by asking people questions and having panel discussions and things like that. So you kind of selfishly get to learn about topics you're interested in while also bringing a community together and helping other people learn as well. So, events are powerful in so many ways. It really also just helps with whatever your business is. This is where you meet people. This is where you convert people. This is where you form those lifelong relationships and friendships. So, I love it. I know I'm just preaching to the choir here a little bit, but events, I think, are really a great way to connect. So, it's also just about learning by doing, right? And one more thing I'll say about kind of hosting events versus just attending them is that right now, anyone has the power to do these things, even if you've never hosted an event before. I will say, if you've never hosted an event before and you're really interested in doing it, it's way easier when you have a solid network of people that you could call. Somebody could call, hey, you have a venue. I know we kind of connected a few weeks ago, or hey, you'd be a great speaker. The greater your network, the easier it is to plan an event. So if you're kind of interested in the space, but not really sure where to begin, I would say just like Tanya, like Colleen, just find events in your location based on whatever field or industry you're interested in, and just start attending. Just start showing up, just start meeting people, because like I'm about to show you with ChatGPT, anyone can set up an event, but it's way easier if you know people already and have an awesome network. All right, so we're gonna get into it a little bit. Now we're gonna kind of just talk about the end to end for someone, how to start an event, all the way through the marketing of the event and the day of. So one thing I want to say before we get into the GPT prompts is that there's a lot of different formats and structures you can do for an event. And I've done events over the last 5 years. I've done it all. So you could do something as simple as a happy hour at a bar, where you just call a place and you say, hey, reserve us a corner, please. I'm going to be bringing people with credit cards. They're going to be paying money. They're going to be coming through maybe on an off night, right? And that's something that's such an easy event to set up, because you don't really have a panel or a speaker. You're just bringing people together strictly for networking. And that's perfectly great if that's what your goal is just to build a network and just to provide a space for people to talk with each other. But then the other type of event would be more like panels and having a panel on a specific topic or a keynote speech or things like that. And I found these events, these are more monetizable events because you're providing more value and you can actually charge tickets and things like that. So before you just jump into ChatGPT, find me a venue, find me a speaker, this and that, you really need to just get clear on what kind of event that you want to have, right? So again, if it's a happy hour, you're just going to be going to a bar and talking to somebody, and then you just pick a date and you set up a meetup page and that's it. But if you have a panel discussion, you're going to need to get a space that has AV, microphones. You're going to need to find speakers, figure out the topic. There's a whole lot more that goes into it when you have a panel discussion. So before you get started, just get clear on exactly what kind of event you want to have. All right, so let me show you some GPT stuff before we go. Let's start with the beginning of an event process, which is finding a venue to host your event. Maybe you've never done an event before and you're thinking, I want to do a nice panel discussion. I don't have much of a budget, but I want to find a place that I could do this. And, you could obviously go to Google and you could I recommend finding it. Co-working spaces are nice for hosting events, or law firms, or a lot of places that are open to collaboration. But if you don't want to start with Google, I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to show how you can find a venue with ChatGPT. So, oh, and by the way, as I'm talking through this, I want this to be interactive. So please drop questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer any of them at the end. And hopefully you can all see my screen right now. I kind of set this up. As you can probably see on the left, I use ChatGPT for so many different things, and it's just a great tool. For those of you who actually don't know what ChatGPT is, it's essentially like a chatbot and a virtual assistant that you could ask for. You could ask specific questions and it'll provide you with outputs based on your prompt. So whether that's asking to summarize an article, or asking for a list of places, or asking for information on a subject, ChatGPT is a very advanced AI model that you can kind of do these things with. So if you haven't looked into ChatGPT or what it can do, I highly recommend just watching some YouTube videos and checking it out. All right, so the first prompt that I'm going to give all of you, this is a pretty basic prompt here, right? So for those who don't know, prompt engineering is a very important thing. Prompt engineering is essentially how good of a prompt you could do with ChatGPT that'll get you the most effective output. So it's important to learn kind of how to talk to this tool, right? So for example, here I asked, can you suggest some affordable and spacious event venues in New York City, ideally a capacity of 200 people, and include AV equipment? And here where you say and include, that just comes down to whatever you want your event to be. So maybe you just say include space for a happy hour, or include a screen for a presentation. This is where you can really get specific about exactly what you want the venue to be. And you could ask ChatGPT for a list of options. And again, this is kind of just this is a basic ChatGPT prompt. If you want to get more in depth and get more out of it, it's good to define your relationship with ChatGPT. For example, I would start this by saying, I need you to act as an event organizer. I'm going to provide you with my goals for the event. I'm going to provide you with the criteria, and I need you to provide me with a list of venues or whatever it is. So essentially, if you want to get more detailed into how to use this tool, you want to identify your relationship with it before jumping into it. So this is a simple one, but I'm just kind of showing an example here. And then here you go. It says, and by the way, ChatGPT, their information goes up to 2021. So sometimes you might have a little lag in, where, if it's still relevant or if these spaces are still open. So that's why it's kind of opening with, it's not real time, but here's a list of a couple options for different venue spaces. And whatever city you're in, you can use ChatGPT to get a list of venues based on your criteria, whether it's a zero budget or you have a $500 budget or $5,000 budget. Here is where it'll tell you everything. And if it gives me 5 right here, but I could say, all right, cool. These are 5 great options. Now give me 100 more. And it'll do that. It'll give you 100 more options. So really there's no limit. It's just, you can consider it like a virtual assistant. You just keep asking for more information and it'll give you more back. So after you kind of have a list, now you compile a list of potential venues. Then you might be thinking, how do I get in touch with these venues? What do I say to them to get them to actually pay attention to me and want to work with me, or hop on a call to discuss further? So if you really want to get into the tool, you could actually then ask ChatGPT, Now provide me an outreach script to reach out to these venues and kind of maximize the possibility of them getting on a call with me. You kind of say your goal, and then you start the conversation and start the negotiation. And I want to say, getting a venue, it's always a negotiation. So if they say, oh, the fee is $2,500, just know you're starting the conversation. Let me stop sharing for a second. It's always a negotiation, because you think about it, if you're having an event and maybe you have a following or social media presence, whatever that is, you are bringing your following to this venue and to this event space. So it's not like you're the only one getting the value by getting the event space. It's really a win-win situation if you position it that way, because now whether it's a co-working space or a law firm or a startup office, you're getting 50, 100, 200 people through the door and really giving awareness to their space. So what I like to do, I kind of bootstrap a lot of what I do with the event thing, is I like to say, listen, our sponsorship packages usually start around like 1,500, maybe 2,500, but we'll give you a free sponsorship. All we ask is that you provide the space and you provide some food and drinks for the space. And you'll be surprised. The conversation could change quickly from them asking you for money to them actually providing the space for free and bringing food and drinks. So this kind of just goes to the negotiation chops. If it's something you're not very familiar with, feel free to ask ChatGPT for some talking points there, or actually hit me up, because I'm happy to consult or help however I can in getting you an awesome venue space. So, all right, now let's say you got the venue locked down. Awesome. You can get the event page up on Eventbrite or Meetup or BeeKonnected, of course, for the virtual ones. But, for the in-person events, one of those platforms is great. And you can even get an event graphic with an AI tool like Midjourney or whatever. But we're not going to get into that right now. Your event's live. You're ready to go. But now you need a panel or a keynote speaker, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish with your event. So this now begins the outreach process, which is awesome, because I found first of all, like I said earlier, I'm going to rewind for a second. If you have an awesome network, if you've been going to events, if you've been meeting a ton of people and following up, like Colleen says, then you already have a bunch of potential speakers in mind. So it's actually much easier, because now you just think about the people you met. Hopefully you're like storing all your contacts in a spreadsheet or something like that. You just look for subject matter experts in that industry, and then you just are reaching out to them, and they already know you. So you're going to get a response, and you just say, listen, I'm doing an event. We're getting a panel together. Again, it's going to be a win-win, because now they get to be positioned as an industry expert. They get stage time, all that good stuff. So if you have a network, it's way easier. But if you don't have a big network, or maybe you don't have someone in your network that's a good fit for the topic, then you could do multiple things. I'm going to show you how to find a speaker list on ChatGPT as well. But also, LinkedIn is a great tool for you can search for people in an industry and then just find a bunch of people that, like for me, for example, I do events in ChatGPT and AI currently. So I would just go on LinkedIn and search for people in New York City who are in the AI space. And then you get a whole bunch of professional connections. And now you just need an outreach script that's going to get them to pay attention and be intrigued by your event and show them. Yes, to Tanya's point, and you can find a lot of great speakers and connections right here at BeeKonnected. So definitely get on this platform if you're not already. I do want to shout out everyone that came from my end. I know a lot of people were excited about this platform. So thank you for joining, and be sure to connect with people in BeeKonnected so that you have speakers. So then now I'm going to show you ChatGPT again. I have this all locked and loaded, so I was excited about this. And if you're not using ChatGPT, you can do more manually, but I'll just say my favorite thing about ChatGPT is that it just saves me so much time, and I can take my life back and actually have free time to do stuff again. So I know for a lot of the entrepreneurs out there, you're so busy trying to coordinate all of this, and it feels like a lot. But if you use a tool like ChatGPT, it's kind of like having 2 to 3 people that work for you and are doing this stuff for you. So I would say, if you're not using this yet, I highly recommend getting on these tools and leveraging them to your advantage. So here's my prompt here. Again, very, very simple prompt I'm using just for this example, but I do want to share it with you to kind of show you how it can be used. Can you recommend potential keynote speakers for an event on ChatGPT? They should be experts in the field, have experience speaking in front of large crowds, and be based in the US. For you, you might want to say more specifically, they should be based in New York City or whatever city you're in, because you probably at this point starting off don't have a budget to fly someone in. So, this is where you get specific about exactly what you're looking for. please provide their contact info and a brief bio. So, again, if you want to get more detailed with how to do a prompt that's going to be really effective here, you would say, I need you to act as an event speaker outreach coordinator or whatever that role might be. And, I want you to do this job for me. I'm going to provide this and I need you to output that. So you can always get more in depth and you'll get a better outcome. Here, I dropped that, and then we got 4 people who would be great to speak on artificial intelligence based on New York City. Again, this data from ChatGPT goes up to 2021. So you're going to need to do your homework. You just compile a list, look into them, see if they're still active on LinkedIn or BeeKonnected or wherever that might be. And then you start the outreach process from there, because now you have a list of people that you can start contacting. And again, this would be a great opportunity to use ChatGPT to ask, how should I reach out to them? What's the best outreach script that's going to optimize my chances of a response? Because, of course, I think we all know we're bombarded all the time on LinkedIn with a bunch of automated messages. And like Colin said, I'm also not a fan of the automated message. I know a lot of people work with it. No disrespect to you, but I just know that when people send them to me, I never, ever respond to them. I actually just close it. And so this is an opportunity to create a customized outreach message instead of just a copy paste thing. You can ask ChatGPT, hey, Dr. Kate Devlin, she seems awesome for it. Can you please give me a specific outreach script under 300 characters that will optimize my chances of getting her to hop on a call with me to discuss this upcoming event based on her bio that they provided to you? And then they're going to give you different scripts that could kind of really bring it all home. And then you could just use those and alter it to make it sound more like you or whatever that might be. And then now you're reaching out to some speakers and really just kind of starting to build some buzz and hype. And hopefully by this point, you're starting to have some people who are interested. You're getting on calls. You're telling them about your event. And then you're locking down some speakers. One piece of advice I would say, as far as panel discussions or things like that, if you're doing a panel, 3 to 4 speakers tops. All right. 3 to 4 speakers tops. Even 4 is a little much. If you start getting to 5, 6, you're about to have basically everyone up there answering one question for super long and just having a tiny bit of stage time and trying to compete with each other about who's talking more, when it's just, it becomes too much. You lock down speakers. You sold them on your event. You want to make this a valuable experience for your speakers. So they're talking about how great it was and they're telling their friends and they're coming back to your events. So I would highly recommend, don't do more than 3 or 4 speakers. Last night for GPT NYC, we actually did 2 panels because our speaker lineup started getting a little too big. So we did a panel in the beginning with 3 speakers, and then we did a panel on a separate topic around the outsourcing industry with just 2 speakers. So, if you do have a lot of interest and a lot of speakers, you can always break it up into multiple panels, multiple discussions, and then really just drive it home there. Or if you lock down a really solid high level speaker who's going to be bringing an audience and bringing a community, definitely you could just do a keynote speech or a fireside chat where it's just you and them just having a conversation, almost like a live podcast. And you think about it, I'm going to talk about marketing next, but when you have speakers who are locked down for your event, these are marketing partners for you. Do not let that be lost on you. When you have speakers, make sure you are leveraging them to be promoting your event and create the networking effect so that they are bringing more traction, more buzz around your event. And I found it's the best thing to do. Everyone's busy. Don't just tell them, hey, please promote the event leading up to the event. The more specific you can be and the more you can provide them, the higher chance that they're actually going to be sharing this with their community, right? So if it's on LinkedIn, for example, maybe you're just doing a post, you're tagging them, and then you just contact them and say, please reshare that, whatever it is. Or you're sending them a bunch of scripts for marketing material that you can share with them and say, hey, post 1 a week leading up to the event. The more specific you are, the better. And it's important to leverage them for promoting the event, because if they promote the event, it's better for everybody, because they don't want to be coming up and spending their valuable time to an event that has no one in attendance, that no one wins that scenario. It's best for everyone if the room is full. So they're incentivized to fill the room because it makes them look better. And, it just helps the overall success of the event. All right. So we got our venue, we got our event page, we have a speaker lineup. Awesome. We are ready to be marketing the event. And by the way, the speaker lineup and the marketing, that could kind of happen in tandem sometimes. You could kind of be doing that in parallel. So, I've started promoting events before I even had speakers, and I just say, hey, speakers to be determined, but early bird tickets are available now. The price is going up next week, so that incentivizes people to buy tickets even before the panel is kind of revealed. So with that, I want to talk about marketing the event, because you can have the best space, the best panel, but if you don't market it correctly and get people through the door, it's a flop. And hey, don't be hard on yourself. I've had some events where there's 100, I've had some events where there's 500 people, and I've had some events where there's 5 people in the room. And I'll tell you what, it hurts the ego a little bit, but some of those events I've had where it's 5 people in the room actually end up being some of the most valuable connections and experiences I've had, because it's very intimate and everyone gets a chance to truly connect with each other. So don't be so hard on yourself about stressing to make sure there's a ton of people in the door your first time doing an event. So let me share my screen again and show you about marketing. Okay, so my third and final prompt that I want to share with you today, for those who haven't used ChatGPT, I'm happy to share these 3 prompts with you just to kind of get you started so you can tweak them and use them however you see fit for your business. But so for marketing, this is one of my favorite use cases for ChatGPT, is just marketing, content creation, social media, email blasts, you name it. This has saved me so much time and allowed me to do so much as a team of 1 or 2 that normally I would need like 4 or 5 people for. So let's just ask for a general marketing strategy. Can you help me create a marketing strategy for my upcoming event? I want to target young professionals interested in ChatGPT, and I have a budget of $0. Again, a lot of the events I've done, bootstrapping them, right? You might have a budget. Maybe you're working with a corporation and you're helping set up the events for another business, and they're like, hey, $5,000. So you could change that and you'll have a different marketing strategy based on your budget. But basically, it'll say, can you provide some ideas for social media, email, online advertisements? Also, can you suggest some influencers or partners we can work with to increase visibility? And this is very important, because when you're doing an event, the more people you have, like the speakers that you have promoting the event for you, like a network effect, the better. So if you have 5 to 10, I call them marketing partners. So that's anyone that you have that maybe you're comping them a ticket to the event because they have a big network, and you're saying, hey, you can come to my event for free. I just ask that you promote it 2 or 3 times leading up to the event. Do we have a deal? And I often find that people are very happy with that. So make sure you don't undersell marketing partners, because that's very important to making sure you fill the room. So you see here that even with a budget of $0, you can create an awesome marketing strategy for your event and really bring it home with social media, email, strategic partners, all of that. I'm not going to read through each of them, but I will just show you how detailed and informative these strategies are that ChatGPT produces for you, because it's really been helpful for me, not only in content creation, but in content strategy. So they're saying things like, oh, ChatGPT use a hashtag that'll really build more buzz around it, share articles, PR, collaborate with groups. Great. Now, email campaign. You got to be building email lists, because with social media, with everything, it's great. And I use all these tools, but I always believe in having an email list, because that is very, very powerful. And it's something that you have control over. Right? Online advertisements, boom. They say you don't have a budget for online advertisements, but you can negotiate free or low cost ad placements. So this is another thing where it's all about negotiating. If you have a solid following or anything like that, or maybe you want to give them a free sponsorship slot in exchange for some promotion on the website, awesome. Get creative. Just remember, people ask for money, but that is always negotiable. So just be creative about how you leverage your budget. And if you don't have a budget, you can still go for it anyway. And here it talks about influencers and partners, people who are in the industry, people who are in the field, and actually want to work with you and want to help you create a successful event. All right, by leveraging these strategies. So this is high level. This is high level, you see. I have a high level strategy here. I don't have really tactical day-to-day operational things from here. So what I would do is I would tweak this. I would go back and forth. I would say, hey, change this one part, maybe do this differently. And then once I'm happy with what ChatGPT gave me as far as an overall marketing strategy, I will say, okay, great. Now, please elaborate on social media and actually create a 30-day content calendar leading up to the event. So while this is high level, you could actually then ask it to take it one step further and break that down for you and actually create all of your content and everything that you're going to be using for your email marketing and all of that. So again, it is about how creative you can be with your prompts in order to get the right outputs that are going to optimize your success of your event. And again, crazy, but real time. Just last night, I'm still a little dusty from all the follow up this morning, but just last night, this is the room we filled with the tactics I'm talking about, and this is in New York City at a high rise with beautiful sunset and city views. This is not by chance. This is because we did the things I talked about, and it all started with having a network. Okay, so again, I know that was a conversation from earlier, and I love that it transitioned to this because network is so important in setting up your event. All right, so we found a venue, we found speakers, we got marketing together, and now we're just promoting the event. And now you're just going to be following the tactics it gave you, and you're going to just be going step by step and really just going through the motions of getting the hype, building the excitement, and doing what it takes to get people through the door of your event. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into an event. There's, preparing with your speakers. There's, again, the speaker questions, which you could also use ChatGPT for. There's day of logistics and operations where you need to make sure you have the AV and the building security, whatever that is. I've done this so many times. So I just want to say, if you need any support with all of these tactical ways you could, make your event really successful and awesome, I'm going to, thank you so much, Arlen. I'm going to drop this right here. This is my social media handle. This is my email address, and this is my Calendly link. So if anyone wants to talk further, I offer consulting on not only event organization, but also how to leverage ChatGPT and these awesome tools. So take a screenshot, whatever it is, get right in my calendar. I will give you a free gift, we'll say, is a 30-minute audit on whatever the business is, free consultation. I'm happy to do that for everyone here because I'm super grateful that BeeKonnected had me and we got to do this. I love this platform. It's very awesome, and they're really bringing together professionals. So I know JR is speaking after me, the COO. So I want you all to stay around because he's going to have some awesome insights on how BeeKonnected is bringing the community and the world together. So just want to say once again, I'm happy to help anyone with ChatGPT, with event planning, anything like that. Let's talk. Let's make it happen. I will help you with your prompts, whatever it takes. So hope you all got that screenshot. And I think that's about it. I wish you all the best of luck in your networking and business endeavors. Events really are the backbone to any business, and it really helps create those authentic connections. That is what it takes to be successful. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everyone that tuned in, that I invited. Thank you, BeeKonnected. This has been really fun. I've never really done a webinar before, so I appreciate the opportunity, and I'll leave it right at that.
Well, being your first webinar, you were awesome. Did everyone love that? Because I know I did.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for the opportunity, Tanya.
Oh, my goodness. So now we're all